Hey there, Angular folks, and welcome back. If you've ever created a method just to call update on a signal, this one's for you. Writing this in a component template is impossible, right? Wrong. As of Angular 21.2 Next, this is now allowed. But while it's incredibly powerful, there are a couple of constraints you absolutely need to understand. So let's look at some examples. Here's a basic order summary app that we'll be using in this example. We have a quantity control to adjust the quantity, and when we do so, we can see the totals at the bottom adjust real time. When we add a discount, we can see that they are adjusted to reflect that discount. Then we can also increase the tax and see that reflected as well. Pretty basic stuff, all handled with signals. Now let's look at the code behind all of this. Let's start here with the template for this component. Here are the buttons used to adjust the quantity. For the decrement button, we have a decrement quantity function, and for the increment button, we have an increment function. Then for the coupon button, same thing, we have a toggle coupon function. And same thing with the tax increase button. So each button has its own function. Now let's switch over to the TypeScript to see what they do. Okay, here are all four of these functions. All they each do is simply update a signal value using the update method. Essentially, they exist for one reason, because we aren't able to use arrow functions in templates. If we were just calling set, it would have been fine in the template. But update requires a function. But now, as of Angular 21.2 Next, we can use arrow functions in the template. So let's modernize this. First, I'm going to delete all of these wrapper functions since they're not needed anymore. Now let's switch back to the HTML. We'll start with the decrement button. Instead of the old function, I'm going to add the signal.update method right here in the template. We're passing a function to the update method, and that function receives the previous value. That's what n is. It's the current quantity, and we're returning the new value. Now, let's do the increment button. That's it. No wrapper method needed. Now let's convert the coupon button. Instead of the old method, we use the signal and the update method directly. Same idea here. V is the previous Boolean value. We just flip it when the button is clicked. Now we just need to update the increase tax button. Instead of the old method, again, we just use the update method. All right, let's save and make sure everything still works. Okay, it all looks the same to start, right? And when I change the quantity, that still works too. How about the discount button? Yep, all good there too. Pretty cool, right? The fact that the only way I could use the update function was in the TypeScript has definitely bothered me in the past, so I'm pretty stoked on this. This is the real power here. That's 4 methods deleted, 4 fewer things to name, 4 fewer things to test, and 4 fewer indirections to read later. Now, while this is awesome, arrow functions and templates have constraints. Let's look at one. Now, this will probably be a rare mistake to make, but you need to be careful not to accidentally return a function in your event handler like this. This compiles, but it does nothing because we're just returning a function instead of calling update. An easy way to avoid this is to only use simple arrow functions in the template. If it's more than 5 to 7 lines, it probably belongs in the TypeScript. Okay, now let's look at something you're more likely to encounter. Here, I've now changed this example around a little so that the tax rate is now part of a settings object instead of its own signal. And our total computed signal now uses this in its calculation too. So now let's update the tax rate in the template using this settings object signal. Right now, our event handler is empty, so let's update the settings signal using the update method. The tax rate will be set using the current tax rate value and adding 0.01 to it. Okay, that should be it, right? Let's save and try it out. Oops, looks like we have an error. And if we read it closely, we can see that it's telling us exactly what the problem is. If we're using an object literal, we need to wrap it with parentheses. This is because in JavaScript, curly braces after an arrow means function body, not object. Angular templates only allow implicit returns. So Angular thinks you're writing a block, and blocks aren't supported here. So the fix is simple. We just need to add parentheses. Okay, let's save and see if it works now. There. Everything works just like it should. Now let's look at another constraint. We have to be careful when using pipes with arrow functions. We're going to calculate shipping cost based on distance. I'll add a new row. I'll give it a label denoting that it's based on 100 miles. We'll just need to imagine that this 100-mile distance would be a dynamic value that could be anything. It could be 5 miles, 500 miles, 2,000 miles. It could be anything, but here we'll just be using a static value of 100. Okay, now I'll add an arrow function to calculate this value. We'll have a distance and rate parameter. Then we'll return the distance times the rate. Here, we want to use the currency pipe to format the value, so we'll also add it here. Next, we'll immediately call this function, passing it our static 100-mile value and a rate of 0.05. Okay, now let's save and try this out. Oops, we've got an error again now. But why? Well, this time it's because pipes are Angular template syntax, not JavaScript. The arrow body must be plain JavaScript. So the rule is you cannot use pipes inside arrow bodies. You must instead apply the pipe to the result of the arrow function. Pipes are Angular syntax, not JavaScript. So Angular refuses to parse them inside the function. This means we just need to move it outside. Okay, now let's save and see if we fixed it. Nice, all good. Now we have our shipping value here. So we can only have implicit returns with arrow functions in the template. Object literals must be wrapped in parentheses, and pipes cannot live inside arrow bodies. This is one of those changes that seems small until you start deleting code. It lets us write signal transitions exactly where they happen. It makes our templates more expressive and our overall logic simpler. But it also forces us to understand the difference between Angular template syntax and JavaScript expressions. If you're building modern Angular apps using signals, this change matters. If you found this helpful, subscribe for more deep dives into modern Angular features. And if you've already started using arrow functions and templates, I'd love to hear what patterns you're using. And hey, if you want to help support the channel, check out the Shieldworks gear linked below. It's built for Angular developers like you who take great pride in their work. All right, that's all for today. See ya in the next one.